Hey everybody,
I'm Sam.
I'm Caleb.
And I'm Will.
And we are Working Title!
I can't see, because today's episode's glare. Guys, we're back with Death Note, episode 8. I already made the joke. Last on, Ray Palmer and his wife got yeeted off the show.
Destroyed.
Mr. Grippers is out and about.
Mr. Gripper.
Preparing the soldiers for the assault against Kira. And that's about it.
Yeah.
So, make sure you leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you want to stick around for more Death Note. Check it out on Patreon. You can get some early access over there. We appreciate the support for those who are enjoying this so far. We're glad that you guys are liking these already. And hope you guys enjoy the videos. We're going to punch it. Love ya. Bow!
That was footage from surveillance cameras at the station. The death of one of the FBI agents is captured on here.
So based on the records I have here, Ray Penber comes through the west entrance of Shinjuku Station at 3:11 p.m.
Dude, they look so
Then
dead.
at 3:13, he boards a train on the Yamanote line. But even if he was
Honestly,
following someone
standing
at the
up.
time, I think it's going to be very difficult
about
for
the
us to draw
tub?
any real conclusions from this blurry video. Then at exactly 4:42 p.m. Oh, thank you very much, Watani.
It's
at
their C4,
4:42
it's their,
p.m., he
pre-workout.
exits
The
train
green
at
sauce. Oh, he gets the triple scoop.
It's quite strange, don't you think?
It is.
I'm sorry, what do you find
The
strange?
triple scoop.
Yeah, what is it? Did you notice something?
It seems like he's straining to look inside the train before the doors close. You can see right here.
If that's the case, do you think it could mean something?
Wouldn't it be interesting if Kira was on that train?
That's impossible.
I admit I find it hard to believe as well. There's no reason for Kira to come to the scene of his own crime when he can kill from a distance. Well, maybe he was counting on us to make that assumption and figured he could get away with such a bold move.
I mean, that was probably the most ballsy thing he's done this whole... Well, other than last episode where he was like, I am Kira.
What's going on with you, Light? I don't see the point in writing these names weeks in advance. I've never seen the Death Note used like this.
Consider it
Unaccessible.
Suppose the son of the detective superintendent of the NPA was hospitalized. If criminals stopped dying at the same time, it wouldn't be difficult to connect the two.
So that's what this is.
Are you
Just
sure
in
that I can
case.
use any date as long as it's before the end of a person's predetermined lifespan?
Well, I can't guarantee it because we Shinigami don't normally work that way. But I suppose any time before the end of their lifespan should work.
I really can't count on you, can I?
You got that right.
No, not at all.
Mr. Matsuda, it's okay for you to turn on your cell phone now. Actually, please turn it on right away.
Sure.
Why?
Yes, this is Suzuki, head of Kira's investigation by Ukraine. Ray Pember's fiancée, Naomi Misora. Heard that name before. So it's her. She's from the Los Angeles baby murder case. That's right. She was working under me.
How'd they find out she's
In
dead?
Japan with her fiancé.
I thought she was supposed to disappear and never be found again.
Well, apparently she's been missing since the day after her fiancé died.
Missing.
I'm sure that anyone in her situation would be pretty
Loophole.
Was it?
Damn it.
Suicide.
Light. You gotta think harder,
Naomi
man.
Misora I knew was strong. Not to mention she was also...
No one questions what happens to her ever again. Her mom does not care. Her dad does not care.
She came to Japan with Penber. It's possible that she
Oh.
found a lead. Did Kira manage to get to her first? Everyone, at this point I'd like to focus our investigation on only those people who Ray Penber was tailing. In particular, he was assigned to 2 police officers and those closest to him.
Very well. Who are these two individuals he was investigating?
Oh, no.
Deputy Director Kitamura, along with Detective Superintendent Yagami.
Yeah.
The next stage, I'd like to place wiretaps and surveillance cameras in both households.
It seems like you're pretty skilled with your hands. I bet you're pretty popular with the girls, aren't you?
Hey, yo.
Damn.
What the fuck?
It's your looks.
Shinigami knows what's
I'm
up.
guessing you're not that popular, are you?
Surveillance cameras? Ryuzaki?
I don't see how you could even consider this. If this got out, we'd have a civil rights scandal on our hands. We'd all lose our jobs.
You told me you'd be willing to risk your lives for this investigation, but you wouldn't risk your jobs?
I'm sorry, but it's not worth the risk.
No. Of all the people we've investigated so far, not one of them seemed even the least bit suspicious. Even if there's only a 1% chance, we simply can't afford to ignore it.
Chief?
I don't have to tell you how offended I am to learn my family is under suspicion. Having said that, just go ahead with it. And make sure you install them everywhere. I don't want any blind spots in the house, and that includes the bathroom.
Oh.
Thank you very much. That was my intention.
Gonna catch light taking a dump.
Yes, he's right. Think about your family. You have a wife and daughter at home, don't you?
Yes, I'm well aware of that fact. But there is no point in doing any of this if we can't be thorough. Now I suggest you keep quiet.
God, he's such a good guy. I feel like he's gonna get burned by his own fucking son. His own son is gonna end up killing him.
Excuse me.
I just want to shit in peace, but I guess not anymore.
Dude, how is he gonna be able to figure that out?
Yeah.
I feel like Light's gonna get caught next episode.
He might just get.
What? No one's home yet. I'm home.
No, it's gonna be in his room.
Is it called glare because he sees the glare from a camera lens? And he's like, oh shit.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, should I be monitored? What is that?
How's it going? I don't think anyone else is in the house right now. Do you want to play some video games?
What?
Come on, it's been a while. You listening? Hey, Light.
Good job, Light fucking figured it out.
I don't believe it. I never knew he went to such great lengths. What could he be hiding in there that he doesn't want anyone else to see?
For a 17-year-old kid, I wouldn't say this kind of behavior is particularly abnormal.
Yeah.
When I was his age, I did strange things too.
Yikes!
Have you ever talked to your son about the investigation?
Of course not. I've never once revealed classified information to my family. Besides, I don't get to see them too often these days, and usually as soon as I get home, all I can do is sleep.
I understand.
Where exactly are we going? Light, don't ignore me when I'm talking to you. I'll get mad.
It doesn't look like these codes have been bugged. I think we're safe. Listen to me. There's a very strong possibility that there are wiretaps and maybe surveillance cameras hidden throughout my house.
Really? But that piece of paper was still in your door, wasn't it?
The real test is the handle.
It is?
When that door is closed, the door handle automatically returns to a horizontal position and it won't go any higher than that. But whenever I close the door, I adjust it slightly. Instead of letting it sit horizontally, I lower it by about 5 millimeters. When I get home, I try to open
But that's why, because when he
the
grabbed
handle's
it,
all
he
the way up.
realized
I'm
it.
fairly certain that
Yeah,
someone
that's
was
smart.
in the room, and I know someone was in there today.
Maybe it was your mother.
My family wouldn't have noticed the piece of paper. What's suspicious is that someone took the time to put it back.
Gosh, yeah, they put it back.
Back, damn. Your mom ain't doing that.
By the way, Ayuk, what about your apples?
Apples? That's right, surveillance cameras. Once the apple's in my mouth, no one can see it. But while I'm holding it, it looks like it's floating.
Not a lot to eat.
You told me that Shinigami can't die, so I guess it won't kill you.
He's
Stop
afraid.
Don't you think that's a bit much? Come on.
Please, I really like
never told this,
apples.
But apples are to me what cigarettes and alcohol are to humans. See what I'm saying? I even get withdrawal symptoms.
Dang.
If it's so important for you to eat apples, you'll have to find out where all the cameras are hidden. If you're lucky, you might find a blind spot where you can eat them without being seen. Alright, let's go.
Yeah, the cameras.
He is using Ryu.
So interesting.
He got the demon to work for him now. No longer a viewer.
He used his addiction against him. That is crazy. That is like, that actually is evil mastermind shit.
Demon's addiction.
Yeah.
I really need apples or I go crazy.
Who makes demons work for them? Wow.
Yeah, what the fuck?
I have to find the cameras.
I can't believe my son is looking at those magazines.
It's normal for a 17-year-old. But it seems contrived. It's too obvious. The only reason he didn't want anyone in his room was because he had his magazine. That's what he wants us to think.
Hey, that's my son you're talking about. Are you honestly telling me that you suspect him?
He
I do
does!
suspect him.
I found a camera in the air conditioner.
So they really put cameras in here. They must have bugged the place as well. Even if this is the kid, I don't think the Japanese
I
police
hate
would ever
that.
go this far. This must be L's idea, which means they've narrowed down their list of suspects. By now, they must have figured out that it was someone who Ray Pember was investigating, or they wouldn't have gone to all this trouble.
He just should like unbutton his pants and his dad be like, alright, enough.
We have to turn off the cameras now.
No. Given the situation, it's safer if I just assume I'm their prime suspect and the only one being watched.
Method
It'll
acting.
be okay.
I love you.
Why does it look like him?
Exactly.
Why is that him? And that's Ray Pember's wife.
Are the Kitamura's watching television now?
Yes. He's not home, but the other four are watching while they eat dinner. It's Channel 4.
Watari, please contact the broadcasters and tell them to play our message.
Very well, understood.
Huh? What's this? ICPO? They're saying that in response to the Kira murders, Interpol has decided to dispatch a force of 1,500 investigators to Japan. The investigators were drawn from the law enforcement agencies of its member nations. 1,500 investigators? Whoa.
Bro, it's gonna be specific to
They've
only
got
these two
cameras in the living
houses.
room as well. Regardless of whether this news is real or not, it's obvious they're just trying to evoke reaction from me. The ICPO sure is stupid.
Huh?
I mean, there's no point in making this announcement. If they're gonna send all these people here to investigate, shouldn't they keep it a secret?
Even the FBI agents who were secretly investigating were killed by Kira. Why would this be any different? If you ask me, this is nothing more than a desperate attempt to shock Kira.
Did he just reveal his hand by saying the FBI were
Quite
killed?
frankly, I wouldn't be surprised if Kira sees right through this.
Your son's clever, isn't he?
I think that's it, Light.
He's dying.
On every camera they put in the house. I guess Shinigami get tired when they work hard. Now let me explain where they all are. It's a little bit complicated, so listen up. There's nothing I hate more than explaining something twice.
Alright, it's time for me to hit the books.
There sure are a lot of cameras in this room. I counted 64 in total.
What?
Whoa!
Whoever put them here expected you to at least find some of them.
It has to be L. He had no qualms about putting a death row inmate in his place when he declared war on me.
Yeah.
It's pretty clear he doesn't know any limits.
I feel like I'm afraid to talk like we're getting wiped.
Obviously, that's impossible now,
I
isn't
didn't
it?
know I don't have
Oh,
164 in your bill. And in the
Discuss
bathrooms.
this outside.
I saw your massive shit, Will.
I think I'm getting the hang of this now.
You forgot to flush,
Calories
buddy.
he's planted. He's planning to make a decision within a short period of time. Any normal person would slip under these circumstances, but it won't be that easy with me, L. This is the closest I get.
Why did he open it like that?
Because he doesn't kill in real life.
He's dying. Help him.
Whoa, there's one in the bag of chips?
I've set things up so the criminals will continue to die over the next 3 weeks.
What?
They trapped the chip bags.
Kida can control the times of death of his victims.
Help him.
Or, to avoid suspicion, that means to see the criminals whose names are being broadcast continue to die while I have no access to that information.
Oh, the symptoms are starting!
I'm gonna show you, L.
The symptoms are starting!
With Ryuk's information and my preparations, I can continue to kill criminals whose names are broadcast on the news, while masquerading as a typical high school student studying for his entrance exams.
Oh, he put that in
I solve
there.
equations with my right hand and write names with my left. I'll take a potato chip and eat it.
Eat it!
Show's so dumb. Ryuk's just dying on the floor.
After dinner, your son just goes back to studying without turning on the TV or his computer.
It's because the entrance exams are 5 days away.
Is he gonna see the glare from the chip bag?
Now,
Potato chip.
the criminal who I should have no knowledge of will die of a heart attack in 40 seconds. And the witness to my alibi is L himself.
I take a chip and I eat it.
Alright, just a little bit longer.
Ridiculous.
Wait.
Ridiculous.
From just past 7:30 until now, 11 o'clock, your son's done nothing but study. Kira needs a name and a face. Without those, he can't kill. So I suppose anyone who didn't watch the news can't be Kira, right?
You said it yourself. That means my family has been cleared.
It doesn't make sense that Kira would kill two petty criminals right after their identities were broadcast. I know it's only the first day after the cameras were installed, but the Yagami household seems almost too innocent to me.
No. How? How does he constantly figure this out?
Yeah.
He's got to bring over some girls and get to work
Okay?
just to prove his innocence.
What are you talking about? You usually say there's no need to remind me, Mom.
I can't say for sure whether you're extremely generous or just a spoiled brat. But didn't that mini LCD TV cost you $400?
Damn.
What?
Good morning.
What if that's an agent? Whew. Too innocent, too innocent, too innocent.
Where's he going?
I feel like I should give a rite of passage.
I do. I will eat a chip.
The Deion Sanders chip.
We're not sponsored.
Not sponsored by Chip Company.
We're gonna talk about the episode and eat a chip.
I love non-specific tortilla chip with Cool Ranch flavoring. It's very good.
It rhymes with Lorito.
Or burrito.
Boruto. Well, that was episode 8, Blair. A great example of how bizarre the show can get while maintaining themes like mass murder. You know?
Yeah.
I'll murder this dude while eating said chip.
A quirky little slice of life episode.
Yeah. We got to see a demon go through withdrawal.
Apple withdrawal.
Complete loss of privacy for a family with a daughter and a mother. And 64 cameras placed. Not excessive at all.
In one room, though.
Yes,
every single angle of his room.
Yeah, we don't even know the amount that went into the other parts of the house.
That's wild.
Not even the bathroom. Like, bro.
We put 45 in your bathroom.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah,
That's
that
crazy.
that is so absurd, but so perfect at the same time.
Yeah.
It was just one of those things too where even I don't know why, I just felt in the reaction I was like, I don't even want to say anything because I'm afraid
you might get caught.
I'm afraid we might get caught.
Yeah.
I feel like we're accomplices in on this at this point.
Yeah.
We have allowed this to happen and we're kind of rooting for him, low key. Not exactly, but a little bit.
Well, because when you have two masterminds at work, it's hard to not vote. Not vote for both of them, but sometimes vote for one to get the upper hand on the other when one is excelling. Like you mentioned the other day, Elle's doing pretty good at figuring out things almost too fast. That Light doesn't even get a chance to breathe.
Yeah.
So it's almost fun at this point to see to what extent Light has to do to combat another mastermind.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing too. Is I almost it's not a bad thing about the show, and it's not that I don't like it, but it's almost frustrating because Elle is so quick. I mean, even the fact that they were, I didn't even take into account having surveillance cameras in the subway or in the the train station.
Yeah, CCTV cameras everywhere.
Yeah, at this point, I mean, all they really need to do is, it would basically be impossible to follow the train to all of its stops to see if someone gets on. But I doubt Light knew where all those cameras were. I mean, he was smart enough to do what he was doing, how he was doing it, but still, it's like, if they found one of him walking in and him standing right behind Ray Pember when he, like, first approached him, you know?
Yeah.
It's that easy it would be that easy to figure him out.
Yeah.
I feel like everything is just so close on Light. Now, it makes it fun because, like you said, Light has to play the game perfectly at this point.
Yeah, you bring up a good question now. Like, what is it? The disguise that he put on with the beanie and the hoodie that we're supposed to believe, like, just kind of blotched out some of the cameras? Was he, like, conscious of that? Because I never really thought of that. And
did he throw the clothes away afterwards? Because they could trace those clothes, but they like, hey. We saw a guy on camera wearing that hoodie and that beanie.
I mean, in fairness, it was a pretty like standard clothing set. Yeah. When he did have the hood up with the beanie on, right? That wasn't a hood up and beanie on, or just the beanie on?
Double, both of them.
So, I mean, all he needed was a mask at that
shiesty.
point. Yeah, just to really like cover his bases.
If Light was wearing a shiesty, I would lose it.
That would be funny. But yeah, it's fun to see Light have to jump through hoops to win. I mean, the fact that he also spent $400 just to prove a point.
On a little TV.
Yeah. And the first loophole occurred. Ray Pember's wife was reported missing. So I guess they couldn't account for the fact that there's still ties to people in life. And she hadn't shown up for like 12 hours or something, or something like that. A couple days.
Dude, even that though, it's like, well, all it takes is talking to the police station and being like, oh yeah, rape, or oh yeah, the other day, like all it takes is for Mr. Yagami to go back there one day and they'd be like, yeah, an FBI officer's wife was in here the other day, and your son was there at the same time. Well, he's fucking done at that point. Like that's it. That's game over.
You just have to hope that the receptionist has some common sense. That's all it takes. So we got that to pay attention to. That put Light under huge radar though, because they were able to track the two police officers that were being surveyed, watched. And both families were decided to have cameras put up in their households. And like you said, like the father wasn't really cool about it, but he was willing to make that sacrifice. Yeah. Even though it meant like losing a part of his respect, I guess, for the family in a sense. I don't know if it's that per se, but
well, I mean,
like,
it's the
lack of decency he's gonna have to give towards his family.
Yeah, I mean, it's
and also the disconnect from work. Like that's supposed to be like his safe place, but now he has to like be mindful at all times, even at home.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is older too, so right to privacy, I guess back then was probably a lot more. I mean, it's still a big deal now because it's a huge topic. I mean, with everything that happened post 9/11 in this country, and how much we are watched, whether it's via TikTok or just like whatever conspiracy theory people have out there for that kind of stuff. But I don't know what it's like for Japan, but I mean, a right to like. It's illegal to have a camera in a bathroom. Yeah. Like, what I mean? Yeah. You cannot record someone indecently without their knowledge or consent. So, and especially, like, we're talking about family. So there's other types of people that you would not want to have that happen to. Yeah. And so, it's like
many rules being broken.
Yeah, many laws and rules being broken. So it's like a personal thing, but also
even a moral thing too.
A moral thing, yeah.
A legal and a moral thing.
Ethical, moral. I mean, all the lines are being crossed in this episode for it.
And and I get that. I thought it was funny in a weird way. They're doing a two-step verification as well, like a two-party system, because Elle is also the one who's watching as well as Mr. Yagami, and I was like, that's kind of crazy. I forgot about that he's also viewing it, but in my mind I had remembered that it was just the father. But I guess if you're questioning the family, you might as well even question the father's integrity of it too. Well, you gotta go through with two people at the end of the day.
Yeah, and I mean
verification.
The other thing too is he declined to allow to have his family being surveilled
by the other guys too.
if he was like, nah, I mean, that just basically puts the mark on his back, like he's the one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Or aiding and abetting. We haven't even really considered that Kira could have allies. Not even an option. But, yeah, so it went through with that. We also, at the same time, got to see Light at work. He was very crafty and had already planned for things of people entering into his room, not just the Death Note exploding. He has...
I forgot about the bomb.
Yeah, he has a piece of paper down there, and then he had the little pencil that would break,
and the handle
slightly
down. and the pictures of the pretty ladies.
Maybe I took note. I don't think I took note from this show, but I used to do things like that because I liked my own room not being messed with. Because I got my family, for example, I love them to death. I love them to death.
But your family is nosy.
Sometimes they will take, like when I was living with them, sometimes they would take the laundry when I wasn't, like, the clothes weren't necessarily dirty or things would go missing, and I'm just like, I know for a fact that wasn't me. So I had my own tricks to know if somebody would come in too. I feel like mine was also a door thing. There was something, I don't know if it was the handle, but there was something that had like, I think the door, it was tilted too high up, so you would have to like push it in, and so I'd keep it just barely from opened, so it would like crease under the top of the door frame, so I would know when somebody had gone in because I'd place it a certain way. Yep.
Murder! Just kidding.
Yeah.
That's I don't think I've ever had to do anything like that. But it is interesting when you're like in a situation though where you're like, I know I was not the one to do this. Yeah. So the fact that he has 3 layers of verification to figure out if somebody has been there, the handle being slightly adjusted, the pen in the door that will break it if someone has entered, and the paper on the ground. Like, the paper, like, just alone, I mean, I felt like the pencil was a little bit overkill, but the fact that he has the handle and the paper thing, I mean, that alone is, like, conclusive that somebody went in there, because the handle was changed, but they were conscious enough to put the paper back in there.
Yeah.
So, which is pretty
good tell
wild.
Sign.
Yeah, it was a good tell sign that it wasn't his mom that went in there. I think you had said that in the episode. It definitely wasn't mom. It was someone else.
But like, how about this? So we know L. I don't know if it was L per se who went in and placed the cameras, but we could assume if it's not him, then Watari, because they put 64. So it was very obviously somebody who was very adamant about getting the truth. So let's say L was the one to go in. L had assumed that Light might be a dummy, so he might have been the one to put that little piece there. And then lo and behold, he learns that this kid's kind of a smarty pants. Like he knows this kid has some a good head on his shoulder. We get to see the 2 players actually come in contact, whether one of the parties knows or not. But in reality, both of them know that they're almost facing each other now. One is viewing, and the other is being watched. Yeah. So the fold has. The valley has become a little river with 2 groups on the other side.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing that's crazy, and it's one of those things where I'm like, bro, there's like 30 some episodes of this. Yeah, we're 8 in. I feel like the noose is already tightened enough that like we already got our man at this point. Because even though Light had given like a auditory like. Yeah, don't the cops think it's kind of stupid to announce everything to everybody when they only announced it to those 2 houses specifically? Plus, that he was just doing his own thing and there are people killed, but Kira was not, like, no one in the household was, like, writing something down or watching the news. So, at that point you would be like, well, he's fine. But still, even Elle was thinking... This is too innocent. This is too
Something's
good.
Still sketchy here.
The show. Okay. Sometimes the show has really bad animation on the faces.
Oh, it's horrible.
And sometimes it has really
so
good
bad.
animation. I'll say Ryuk today looked absolutely insane, but L I thought looked really good today. They did some close-up shots on his eye, and I felt like there was some good layering when he did when he like plays with his lip that he does. I like that a lot, but Ryuk looked like he was on some cocaine or something.
He literally
maybe
wanted
it was
some.
because he was heading towards that little withdrawal, but I mean, you guys...
It's happening!
Did you guys catch a look at him when Light walked into the room and his eyes were just, like, his face looked so contorted.
Yeah.
Not accurate at all.
Yeah. He did not look okay.
It's hard to know also. We have a big screen too, so maybe everything's just a little bit more obvious than my first time watching this. It's also older, but it's
the chip opening was immaculate though. That was the best animated scene in the whole show so far.
Yeah. But there are inconsistencies. Like I feel like even in Evangelion, which is a pretty old show, which I had watched all the way through, there wasn't even like it was pretty consistent all the way through. With this, there's been sometimes drop downs. It's like frame rate drops in characters' faces.
Like the animation for the episode with the Pember's wife was like some of the worst I've seen, but it was a good episode. Yeah. Like they saved their budget for the moment where he says I'm Kira, but the rest of the episode looked like ass. Yeah. I was like taken out of it a little bit. I was like, this sucks. And then it was like, oh, this is just fucking cool.
Well, like surely you guys online have seen like the memes of like Eren or Naruto in a cool moment, and then it's like Naruto in a bad moment, and it's just like
that's Sasuke,
or like a background moment, and his face is just completely ruined.
There's one.
His face is just so long, and he's like,
there's one I'm gonna send you, Sam, so you can put in, and it'll just be screenshots. There's no context, but it's literally like. I can't remember if it's Naruto or Sasuke, but they literally look like a torpedo. They're not supposed. They don't turn into a torpedo, but they just fucking look.
It was a very quick shot that he like.
Yeah, they're like flying by.
It's like the best they could do it like fluid animation to the point where they just take away all detail and they become a blob of just colors.
But that's for like
a bullet bill.
That's for
like a bullet bill.
Though. That's for pause moments. Sometimes it's like that's their face in some of the scenes. Like the guy with the long hair that works with them, the young kid. There was a scene where he like turned and I was like, bro, what is wrong with his face? But withdrawals with demons. How about that? I don't think that sentence has ever been said until this show. Like somebody's
apple withdrawal
of a demon,
like nicotine,
it's like liquor and nicotine.
It's like cigarettes and alcohol for humans.
Yeah, it's such a random. I don't get it. I don't understand why.
I want to know if there's like some kind of historical lore about apples and
shinigamis.
Yeah, shinigamis or legendary Japanese demons or whatever.
Maybe the apple of knowledge or the tree of knowledge. Demons fiend for knowledge.
Dude, I don't know. But it feels so.
Adam and Eve and Ryuk
were obsessed with the apple.
They really wanted to eat apple.
I just feel like it feels a little out of place, but not in like a bad way. It's like funny. Ryuk was like hilarious this episode too, just like across the board. He's like, "Come on, man, I'm talking to you. Just listen to me. What the hell's your problem?"
The whole time Light's like doing his inner monologue, he's just like, "Can you hear me?
Please?
Hey, bro, come on."
What else? Oh, fake porn addiction.
Hidden inside the Encyclopedia Britannica.
He didn't even go full method with it, but
he just went.
I mean, I feel like they couldn't.
No.
Not with this show. Maybe on HBO.
Some shows.
On HBO, they would.
Next season of Game of Thrones, they'll probably have that.
Yeah. Evangelion.
Oh no! Please don't.
But trying to think what else. I think that's about it.
That's about it.
$400 TV. He's a bit of a rich brat in Ryuk's eyes.
Yeah, where do you get that? Does he have a job?
I don't know. Maybe he does the thing that some like students do, where they go to like tournaments to like write essays and get like the big bucks.
That would make sense.
It's definitely a thing.
Yeah.
So I feel like one more chip to send us off. One more.
I really like these delicious chips.
This non-branded, non-specific.
Censor.
So guys, make sure you leave a like, eat a chip to the next episode, and join us in this long journey. Make sure you subscribe so you're there for it. We appreciate you guys coming out to this point. Leave a timestamp. We'll see you in the next reaction. Punch it!
God, was so good.
Yeah. Don't be toast.
Hey, you can't say it.
Oh!
It's the last line of dialogue in the video. Doritos. Fuck!